must feel comfort. Reactively or physically, I might still go to my normal routine or my responses. I feel like a soulmate is someone who should speak to your spirit more than they do your mind. They should speak and you hear them. They should, without even speaking, the mere fact that this person is in your life, you are inspired to do things differently. You see that, okay, no, as a guy, I haven't been studying for a while. I need to start studying. I haven't been actually doing anything to add onto me. I need to start adding onto me. Actually, I'm always on social media. I need to pull back time and actually learn how to bake. I haven't baked in so long. Not because he said, Kuti, I want scones, but even if you don't even give it to him, but the mere fact that there's this person, I just want to be better. That for me is a soulmate. Not someone whom he comes or she comes and you just, oh my god, where are we going today? Okay, spa. Okay, cool. Oh, we're going for a spa day. Oh my god, that is so amazing. Nah. Every weekend it's a party, it's a party, it's a party. There's no time. You don't see this guy's downs. You don't see this guy lacking. You don't see this guy being rejected. See a man get rejected. See a man get rejected. Tell me how you respond. See a woman get rejected. See a woman lose everything. Who is she? What comes out of her in those situations? Because that is what will be spoken into you, into your kids for a very long time, because it will not be rosy. There will be challenges. There will be individual problems within the marriage, and there will be marriage problems that affect both of you. But you see this, you can see already what will come out in those situations. Don't try wait for marriage and then you're like, oh my gosh, this person changed. They didn't change. You just chose not to see, or you never gave yourself enough time to see. So if you're not yet married, you have the opportunity to still have these things brought to light and make an informed decision. And for some, yes, it takes you dating for years for you to get to that point where you're like, you know what, I've seen all of that there is to see in this person and I still choose them. But I think there are other ways as well about your intentionality, how you go about the dating process. Someone actually asked me, do we not date to then get to marriage, or does marriage come first? And it's a very good question, because based on what I was saying you need to be intentional, right? And the reason I say that, when I think of marriage, marriage is the most beautiful relationship God made for humans in this earth. In a sense that he says the church is his bride and he is like the husband of the church. Now you need to understand that all that God does is for his church. To now portray marriage to be a relationship between him and the church, and he says, husband, love your wives like Christ loves the church. And you want to marry a man who doesn't even know Christ, and then you will cry and say marriage is terrible. Honey, you got it wrong from the get-go. He must know Christ, first of all. Secondly, if this man is to love you like Christ loved the church, what did Christ do for the church? That man left glory. He left his glory, came to earth, lived as a human, though being fully God, felt the emotions and everything that a human being feels, carried transgressions, all the bad things that we can ever think of. Yes, even the ones where you are like rape, murder, even the ones that the community can turn on a person and be like, this person, we're writing them off. That is what he died for. He came and carried the cross for that, and still loved you enough and said, even though I'm dying for you, this person might still not love me. This person might still not receive me, but I'm still loving them, intentionally so. And he's like, I will never leave nor forsake you, meaning should you ever do anything, I still didn't leave. I'm still here where you left me. So you need a man who first understands what Christ is and what Christ did for him to understand how he needs to love you like Christ loved the church. I'm sure women are so excited thinking, oh my gosh, yes. They're gonna show all their boyfriends and be like, this is for you. But ladies, you also need to submit, yeah? You must submit. The church cannot run if it's not being run under God's order. It is not a church if it doesn't portray Christ. If it's not aligned with his word, if it's not aligned with his instructions, if it's not aligned with giving glory to him, but it is more to giving glory to people. That is not what church is. Church is all about Jesus. It's all about Christ. So a woman needs to be all about her husband. A woman needs to be all about supporting the vision that the husband has and submitting fully, even when he does things you don't like. That is submission. Submission doesn't say, it's not submitting only when he leads you in a way that makes you fuzzy and fizzy in the inside. No. So do you understand, both of you? The reason why women can't submit, they trying to submit to the wrong type of men, and you think you will submit. No. And that's why you have alpha fights where you don't know who's the head in a family, because both of you are fighting to be heard, because the other doesn't know their role, and the other is probably not playing their role properly, or the other is not playing their role properly, and the other one does not understand their role. Because if you're being led by a man who knows Christ and knows what his responsibility is, it will be very easy to submit. And I'm talking to the women. This thing of us, now that we are career women and we're doing the most in our careers, and then you want to come home and be like, I am the head in the house. That's a problem. Or husbands thinking you can just do anything and everything because you are the man. You come back whenever you want, you don't even come back, or you are doing things outside or not, you're not providing. There is a problem. But all those problems can be identified or can be worked on before you even get married. I love a clip that I saw. As a Kefra Dollar, he's like, women, you must ask this man a lot of questions before when you go on these dates. Before you even say I like you. Do you work? What do you do? What is your long-term plan? Do you plan on living in this country forever? Do you plan on starting your own thing? Because women, it's hard to submit to a man who's a starter-up. So it means you need to be willing to go through the struggles from the lows, and you need to accept that sometimes if a man is very passionate about his own thing and he's not following the normal route of I go to work and that's all I do, there will be ups and downs and it will be tested. And now that man cannot go for a slay queen. Like, guys, like, let's be serious. This woman wants their lifestyle to be maintained, and now you want to take risks that someday your income will be low and whatever. So that's what I mean by purpose. It's just a big word to just say, what do you want out of your life? Where do you want to go? Where do you see it going? And how do you ensure that both of you can complement each other? Because when people start saying, yeah, when things were down, this woman changed on me. No one changed. You just either sold a wrong or an idea that you will be like this forever, or didn't disclose your plans, or maybe you didn't even know those plans and they came subsequent. But you also didn't test this woman's character to see, can she stand the test of time? Can she stand and say through ups and downs, rich or poor? Because I feel like some people just say these words and they don't know what it actually means. And it is very, very, very important to know and stand for those words. And if you're a man, you need to be intentional. You need to pursue with the intention of knowing, I want to lead this woman. However, if you're not there yet where you can lead anyone because you feel like you can't even lead yourself, my brother, stay single. As a woman, if you're there where you feel like you change your mind about everything, you can't hold anything down. 1 minute you want to do this, tomorrow you want to do that. Tomorrow, when things are tough, you claim you are a certain type of way, or you don't do certain things, but when things are tough, you change. Like you basically go with the wind. There will be problems of submission. You will struggle to submit because ups and downs are guaranteed in marriage. Ups and downs are guaranteed in life, even if you're not married. It's just that when you're married, you have to experience them with someone else. So it is important in your singleness to acknowledge and understand what kind of a marriage you want, and what kind of a man you want, what kind of a woman or a wife you want, what kind of kids you want to be raised. Because this woman will raise these kids, will impart their thoughts and opinions, will portray certain behaviors that kids will mimic. And the same goes for the husband, because kids don't follow what they hear, they follow what they see. And if you want that home where your family is considered one fears the Lord, two, a marriage that every young person should desire for, not only when you are outside in public, but even your own kids see it, that mommy loves daddy. Gosh, but have you seen how daddy looks at mommy? But have you seen how mommy respects her husband? But have you, to a point where even outside, because you know kids talk, eh? You think you're pulling a facade. Kids speak because they're kids, and beating them won't change them. They will speak. Where she'll be like, no, not my daddy. My daddy has never hit my mommy. When the other kids in the street are saying, yo, you know my dad hits my mom. No, my mommy never. My dad is always kissing my mom and massaging my mom's feet. They will say it's fairy tales. They will say in this time and age, really? Maybe back then. And then they will tell you how in the Bible men had multiple women, so why would you expect a man to only love you? Then let's go back to the Bible. What? One man, one woman. It is not good for a man to be alone. But how will I know someone is the one? It's a question I also don't know, and God needs to help me with that one because I don't want to make a mistake. But how I always look at it, or the question I ask myself is, can I see my kids being like this person? Physically, how they think, how they do things. Because children for me are the best portrayal, respect or lack thereof, and of hopes and dreams. And it starts with kids. And for you to envision the full picture, you need to first assess, can this person father my children? And can this person mother my children? And you need to first know what kind of children you need parented in order for you to decide what kind of a parent you would need to partner with in order for you to have the kind of household that you deserve or want. Fairy tales are fairy tales, but God is a God who's still alive, and He's still able to bring forth relationships and godly marriages. If anything, that is what I feel the whole aim of this Journey to I Do relationships, which will become in the future Journey to I Do marriages, is to inspire and bring forth households that will represent His kingdom, households that will heal other families, and households that will portray that indeed a man can be faithful, a woman can serve and submit to his husband, to a husband, and it is possible. Because if no one ever thinks it's possible, it will never be done. And if it's never done, we will always look to the bad versions of marriages and think that is what is the truth. But is it the truth? And is that what you want your children to know is the truth? But we have the opportunity to create and do as we now, the new generation deserves. And that is God's purposely ordained idea of marriage. So stay tuned as I explain to you the reason I have the ring that fell earlier on, which is the next episode that will come on the next show, which is all about the wait.